They were from this region. People think, oh, we're talking about Mexico. Yes, we are. But there used to be a city called Aztlan, located somewhere between the Ohio Valley, east of Utah. That was her home. 6,000 years ago, shaman said, you must move. Something is going to happen. This new home you must find will be found where you see a lake. In the middle of the lake, you will see this large eagle. This eagle will be eating a serpent on top of a cactus. That's where you should find in your city. So the Aztecs picked up, moved south. As they were reaching an area south of Guadalajara, the lake of Guadalajara, they heard the sound. Volcano had exploded. Yellowstone was no more. Everything was gone. Few survivors. And the Aztec kept on. They ran into this beautiful city called Teotihuacan. They couldn't understand it. It was perfect. The main avenue, we call it the Avenue of the Dead, filled with these different stones that they weren't very familiar with. But it was beautiful, colorful, and there was nobody there. So they took the idea from there and kept going because there was no eagle there. So they kept going. And then they found it. Now it is told that the Aztecs found Tenochtitlan in Mexico City, 1 mile up in the air, middle of nothing. A storm hit. The biggest storm they have ever dealt with. It was like a deluge. You've heard the stories of the Olmec saying what he was drowning the snakes. I'm not sure if any remember some of the stories before. This little snake is very important in our culture. You'll notice one of the offerings we have is the snake. Some of these items are about 4,000 years old, by the way. And they're part of the celebration today. We found the city. We can start to live. And we found this beautiful green food we could eat called maize. The most important item in all of Mesoamerica. Now, we're celebrating the autumn. The other side of the planet is celebrating spring. They're upside down. They don't matter. We matter. Today, through the 21st, there is this pyramid in Yucatan. Call it the castle. Kukulkan. Every night, you see the snake, the shadow of a snake, coming down the steps. Only in these few days. How did they do it? We have no idea. But they did. Does it again in spring. Perfectly aligned, telling us a little bit more about our gods. Now, the most important god is the feather serpent. The smaller one right here. There is different gods. God of the rain, because in the fall, it rains. Here it rains a little bit, but in Mexico it's like rainy season. So we first think the goddess Ostara. Some people call her Mama Pachi. Shaman get to wear it. It's made in onyx and silver. Also, I have no idea how old this is, but it's been passed down from generation to generation. I believe it's 5 generations, last time I was told. The fertility goddess Ostara, which is the one to the light. It's a forever burning light, and that's one of the few lights that shall never be turned off. Siloxen is the other god, the god of corn. And it's a 7-day celebration. The food is so different than what you normally see here, although now it's becoming the norm. But we're pretty bright people, a little different. See, first we have the taco, flat tortilla, some meat in it. Some vegetables, really good. Salsa. We have enchiladas, very different. It's a tortilla with some meat in it and some salsa in it. We have the tostadas, very different. They're crunchy, flat, with some meat in it. I think you've seen the idea of it. But it was very useful. It's high in carbohydrates. When mixed with rice, it's the perfect protein. You can live just on those two alone. And they figured it out fairly early. So, at the time of the Aztec, there was a lot of unsavory things going on. Not the tortilla, not the taco. But we believed in sacrifice. The sticks. This time, the Aztecs used to sacrifice people. They said, oh, that's macabre, that's horrible. Yes. Exact same time, Spanish Inquisition was going on in Europe. Killed probably many more people. But it was a period. Watermelon represents the blood. Similar to Christians drinking wine. Blood is important too. And you notice there's a skull in the ground. It's a real one, but buffalo. We didn't let much go to waste. We used everything. The pipe I smoked at the beginning is actually from a tiger. We had all these different animals here. But times change. So when it stopped raining, we got scared. Sacrifices went up. But there were some beautiful things behind our culture that kept us going. The food of the gods, chocolate. Don't let anyone tell you it's not. The Aztecs didn't use money. They used cocoa beans to buy things because gold was everywhere. This is Aztec gold from our family. 5 generations long too. Means something to us. It's part of the earth. It is shiny and pretty, don't get me wrong. But it's more than that. Gold is important to us. But chocolate, now, few people could afford to eat money. In the festival, this is Maya, approximately 4,500 years old. It's been passed down. 3 pots. A pot in the center for water. And I'm doing this before we even think the gods or the orientations or anything else, because everything must be ready, because they expect everything to be ready when we start. Oil. Seeds. If you all could join me and stand up for a second. Now there's things that we don't normally praise in our normal Western religions, but the orientations are important. We face north first, and we request the gods from the north to bless us this next season, and we thank them for this bountiful food we've had this year. Light, water, and life. We turn to the south. We thank you for the sun, for the moon, for the planets, for the storms. We turn west. This way. The other left. We thank the gods in the west for the land, for our friends, for the sky, for those beautiful stars we see at night. Thank you. To the east, story says we came from the east. We left this island to an island that was ice, to an island that was green, to an island that was bigger. Call it Canada, our new home. We walk south. Thank you for the land, for the opportunity to find the green, the trees, fruits, everything we plant. Thank you. Okay. And we face back to the center. We offer this food as a gift to the gods through us, not just for the gods. See, we live here. We need the food. We need the nutrients. We use everything that the land gives us. We don't waste. Thank you.
Waiting. As we move into the next part of our ceremony, go ahead and have a seat. Sorry. So we will now move into the actual ceremony. And before we do that, we want to do the love offering so that we can go into ceremony and then leave here pretty much in silence. So knowing that as we circulate and keep everything moving, then everything in our life keeps moving as well. And it is just one of joy and love and expansion into the world. So let's say our offering blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
While we're doing our offering, so a few items that I'm honored to have with me today. My flute that was given to me when I became a shaman had never been played. She was the first person to play it. May I have an honor of another song? Before we do smudging, if somebody can give me a hand with this thing's about to fall out here. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I was about ready to
Yeah. Thank you. These things are funny. Perfect. If we're going to have two offerings. First one is what we sacrificed. Blood, watermelon, same thing. And our nutrients, chocolate. Dark chocolate, and I did not put any cayenne pepper like we're supposed to. So it's just dark chocolate. If you like, would you please take the first offering? You want help? Are you okay? Grab a chocolate, please. And it's important that we do this. And I wanted the first person to do it because there's a history behind it. We eat what we need. We don't waste. Something that our culture, unfortunately, has forgotten lately. The bowl, great idea, because we keep everything there. Obsidian. From the middle of the volcano, the heart. You see the little snakes to the side. That's Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, watching us through the land from underneath and up, backwards thinking. Snakes live on the ground. They don't live on top of the ground. But in our tradition, they were the wise ones. They were not the mean ones that give you bad ideas. Some do. That's another story. But he taught us the arts, music, mathematics. Mayas invented zero. In fact, it took till 1789 before the Western world figured out what zero meant. So we're pretty wise. Please, do you want to? The first few, we're going to go a little slow because I tell the story behind it. So in wine, we drink the blood of Christ. We use watermelon here. The wafer is the chocolate. Very similar. So when the Spaniards came and said, no, this is the order, and this is what this means. But it kind of fits. I'll go with it. As long as you keep Mama Pachi around. She's important. Oh, we don't call her Mama Pachi. We're going to call her Virgin Mary. Beautiful. That's how everything started to change. We're here to teach you some things. Oh, great. Let's look at them. Mama Pachi. You'll find the exact same picture all the way to south of Peru. The most perfect calendar ever designed. It's better than an atomic clock. In fact, the atomic clock is off by 0.00019. This is not. 5,000-year calendar. Not one mistake in it. So our ancestors were pretty smart too. Smudging is our next part. If you like, one at a time, please come up and take your offering meanwhile. Whichever way you like. I just has to be careful with the buffalo. If you grew up religious, you probably witnessed some kind of ritualistic smoke that we used in ceremonies. Catholics, great at it. Walked around with this little kind of like a chalice, I guess, in chains. Moved it around. And it had little holes in it, and it allowed incense. This is mine. We'll be smudging with this in a few minutes. There's different herbs we use to ward away evil spirits. Now this is sacred. Feather of an eagle. Of a hawk. And what is the other one? Falcon. 3 sacred birds. By the way, if you see me moving slowly, I apologize. I just had surgery a week ago in my back. But I was not going to miss this for the world. So I get a little hot when I'm in pain. So if you see me a little bit warm, don't worry. It's just my body adjusting to it now. So this smoke, if you've ever been to a Buddhist temple, you'll notice it too. In fact, in mosques. So every major religion uses smudging, incense, myrrh, different names. In Native American tradition and Mesoamerica, it is seen as a bridge to the higher realms, a way to bring the good spirits and dispel the negative and stagnant ones that keep hanging around. Most common we use is this type of smudging, and we use sage. Now it's just different herbs that calm the spirit. So that's why sometimes when you will go into an old church, you'll notice, I'm really feeling kind of mellow. Ritualistic training. But there's a reason for it, and it works. Not many of you know I'm a clinical neuropsychologist. So I'm an overachiever. That's another story. I was assigned to work with this young 5-year-old child through CPS. I was having trouble because he kept complaining of this spirits. And of course, in our Western civilization, let's medicate him. I was horrified when I heard that first. And I said, no, let me talk to the child. He was Native American. And he told me his grandmother had the gift. So is he. So we decided to do smudging. To my delight, at the end of it, he walked up to me and said, guess what? They're gone. The bad people are gone. That's when I realized I need to learn a whole lot more than I've learned so far. So I continue with mine to become a shaman. And it's basically to clean the air. The winds of the fall come, cleans the air. Yeah, we get allergies. Dang it. Don't tell anybody. Thank you. Oh, very pretty. My body is not telling me I have pain, so it tells me by raising my temperature and says, hey, guess what? You're hurting. Okay. That's what happens when they burn your nerve endings. But it works. Thank you. Oh, well, thank you. I'll make sure I give it back to you. Okay, thank you. Now, there is a lot of practice to the symbology of this smoke. And it reveals a lot of things to one. The peace, the knowledge that one is forgiven or cleansed, and he keeps those evil, negative things away. Unfortunately, we have little control of them. They hang around. This is not just our world. This is their world too. But they don't need to be near us. They have their space and their life and their universe. They don't need to come into ours. We're spirit beings, and we tell them what we want. We don't have to believe that they're stuck with us. They're not. They're just confused. But the smoke tells them, go away. Now, we use usually a shell or a bowl. I use my chalice, representing water, the first element. The herbs, the resins, represent the earth, the second element. The feather on the wind, it creates the smoke rising. The air, the third element. The flame used to ignite the fire that comes from the center of the earth too. Representing fire is the fourth element. We, you and I, us, one. We are spirits having a human experience. And we are the fifth element. Now, a shaman is not a magical person. It's not a magical doctor that's going to relieve everything. All we are is teachers, counselors. The actual word is sabio. Sabio means knows a lot. Interesting enough, the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know much. But we think we do. But that's where the word comes from. Now, there are shamans that do medicine. These beautiful herbs that we have growing that can heal us. They help too. So 2 types of shaman. I'm the spiritual one. That's why I took psychology. Psychology means the study of the soul. And that's where the worlds come together. Now, we're going to start smudging. I'll ask one person at a time to come to the side door with me. There is no time limit, but we should be time conscious of others. What you need, this is the time to ask, time to let go. I will not judge. I will not hear. I will acknowledge. I use the feathers to move the wind around. They're sacred. By the way, if you get caught with one of these and you don't have the little deer skin on it, it's a $1,000 fine. So it's an honor to have them. But it's not about having them, it's the use of it. You must surround yourself. And that's the interesting thing about smoke. When we're depressed, we're in this smoke, surrounded by it. That's all we can see. Can kind of see some things out there, right? And then we walk out of this smoke, and all of a sudden we see a different reality, the true reality. So it allows us also a passage, rite of passage, to move on. That's the beautiful part about smudging. So for those who would like to participate, would you guide us? Mm-hmm. I'll be staying around for a little while. I'm a board member. I'm here all the time, it seems like. I've just been gone a few days for my recovery, but yes, absolutely. Anytime somebody wants to talk, please let me know, and we can talk. I don't charge, by the way. Thank you, ladies. You guys have been amazing. This is the time for the big drum. Yes, I do. If that's okay. One more thing, we're going to bless the drum as before it's used as a tradition. And we play in the time we're doing smudging. Do us the honors.
We give thanks for the honor of hearing your voice, Mother. Aho, all Mother nations.
Part of the Aztec tradition, we have a story that we want to say. It's one of my favorites, actually. A young Aztec child asked his grandfather, "Papa, you are the sabio for a clan." Asking in Nahuatl, "Grandpa, can you tell me something about people, about all of us as humans, that I don't know yet, but none of my friends must know, so I can better understand their dreams, their struggles, because I want to help them. I want to help them to have a better life too." His grandfather, in deep thought, smiling and eager, he responded, "Well, my son, every person has two angels who appear to us as spirit wolves, who live with them, with each of them, through their entire lives, all the way from birth until we leave this realm. They start just like you, small puppies, kind of like you. You used to bark at me all the time. Now, as they got older, they grew just like you have. These small puppies grow not from meat, not from food, not from maize, not from corn, not from anything that we have, not chocolate, although that should be a requirement. They feed on our thoughts and our emotions. The first wolf feeds on negativity, fear, anger, hate, lies, frustrations, jealousy, envy, pettiness, judgment, sadness, condemning, demeaning, devaluing. Not a good wolf. The second wolf feeds on kindness, love, forgiveness, acceptance, compassion, patience, charity, joy, honesty, and humility. But I didn't tell you one trick. There's one more thing, a middle angel, a wise angel. Looks like a little serpent. Is there, keeping us two wolves from hurting each other most of the time, but also to give us some wisdom. He can be tricky. It's not always good. Not bad, but not good. Lets us think of those little things. Oh, what if I can get away with this? Oh, wait, no, that's the other wolf, right? And that's what he's there to do, to remind us. The feather serpent, Quetzalcoatl. He's our counselor, points things out to us in our dreams, even in our awake dreams, to help us make the best decisions. But ultimately, regardless of the wolf on the right, the wolf on the left, and the wise snake, we make choices. We are not slaves to beliefs and thoughts. We are part of this realm. We created this realm. It depends what you believe in. No one is condemned to live a bad life. No, I do believe there's a small group in society that are evil. Those don't count. We call them sociopaths, I guess. Can't fix them. Even in therapy, my God, first ones to run. That's the sad part. But 97.9% of the population is really good. Just get confused and easily sold. Because we're petty sometimes. We let that other bad wolf eat us a little bit. Because, it's easy food. So as they point things to us, they teach us everything we need to know about life. And that is a secret that none of your friends know. So the child just sits there smiling and smiling, thinking of all these things he can do now. Now I know this secret. He thanks his grandfather for his wisdom and starts hopping away like a little bunny rabbit. And then all of a sudden, he stops. He goes, whoa, wait a minute. Feeling very confused and very puzzled. Frozen just like a possum. And slowly turns around and looks at his grandfather. But this time in humility. And with great concern, he says, Grandpa, wait. Which wolf is more likely to win the struggle of things? Especially the struggle in this physical life and this planet while we're here. Who wins? His grandfather just pauses, pondering himself in deep thought. Smiles and says, well, grandson, that's the most perfect question we can ask, based on the wisdom of my own spirit guide. He did teach me once this most important answer. The wolf that wins the battle, and eventually the world life, your life, is the one that you feed the most. Thank you. You're welcome to come look at any of the things, and if you have questions, please have more chocolate. We celebrate money. Thank you all for coming. I hope you enjoyed tonight. I will have more classes for free, by the way.